Hello students, we are starting today. We are continuing with the chapter number 8, respiration. The respiration here today we will learn in this video is the respiratory system in human being. All of you know the respiratory system in human being is having the lungs. Lungs as the major respiratory systems. Now the main function of the lungs is taking of oxygen, that is inspiration. Giving out of the carbon dioxide is called expiration. And deep inside the lungs the exchange of gases takes place. So you can see the respiratory system over here, it is having the main functions: inspiration, expiration and exchange of gases takes place in the lungs. So in lungs, the whatever gases enters to the lungs, the oxygen has to enter to reach to each and every cell, so that inside the cell the energy production can take place. So it is the main function of the respiration. So, and as well as from the cell, whatever the carbon dioxide is produced at the end of the respiration has to come back to the lungs. So this is done by the transportation system, that is the circulation. So by circulation, by the help of blood and other fluids, oxygen from lungs enters to the cell. From the cell it has to come back to the lungs. So this is the main function. Now the respiratory system in human being has divided into two parts: upper respiratory system and lower respiratory system. Upper part is having nose, nasal cavity, internal nares, pharynx, etc. And the lower respiratory system is having larynx, trachea, bronchi, bronchioles, lungs, which we will discuss in detail. Now this respiratory system can be asked for long question for 4 marks, where you expected to draw the diagram also. The diagram itself can be asked for 2 marks. We will now discuss the respiratory system. You can see the diagram over here. The first organ of the respiratory system is nose, which contains the nasal cavity. Nasal cavity is present inside our nose, which is divided into two chambers, left side and right side nasal chamber, and by a cartilage is called mesoethmoid cartilage. Now the nasal chamber opens here by the slit-like opening is called nostril. The chamber has three regions. The interior part is called vestibule, where you see the hairs, the ugly hairs are present inside your nose. Is that region is your vestibule. Now vestibule is for filtration of the air. If any dust, bacteria, things are there, that is all trapped by those air. The second region of the nasal chamber is the middle part, is the respiratory region. When the air is passes through it, it gets moistured and become little warmer. And the third region of the nasal chamber is the olfactory region. So that contains the sensory cells. They are very sensitive to chemicals, so that is there for detection of smell. So these are the three reasons of the nasal cavity. Nasal cavity divided into right and left nasal chamber. Each chamber has three parts: vestibule, respiratory region, olfactory region. The next organ is pharynx. Pharynx you can see over here. Pharynx is the common, you can see pharynx. Pharynx is the common passage for food as well as air. From the mouth, the food is coming down. From the nose, the air is coming down. So this region, this common passage is called your pharynx. Pharynx is also having three regions. The upper part of the pharynx, which is connected to towards the nasal cavity is called nasopharynx. The part which is towards the mouth is called oropharynx, and the part which is connected towards larynx is called laryngopharynx. And the roof of the pharynx is having tonsils, which are the lymphatic organs. Now the next organ in case of the respiratory system is the larynx, your voice box. This larynx is present at the base of the pharynx. Now the food what comes from your mouth has to go to esophagus. Air what is coming from your nasal chamber has to cross the food area and to enter to the larynx and then to the windpipe. Now the crossing takes place over here in the place of the pharynx before it enters to the larynx. All of you know the larynx, as it is the voice box, it produces the voice and the sound. All of you know the Lata Mangeshkar is having the unique larynx. That's why she can sing till today so melodiously. The base of the larynx opens to the windpipe, that is called trachea. You can see the next organ is the trachea, which is over here. Base of the larynx, which when it is opening to the trachea, that in between them there is the opening is called glottis, and the opening is guarded by a structure is called epiglottis, flap like structure, which prevents entry of the food into this trachea. The flap closes when food is swallowed by the person. So here the trachea is the windpipe, which is made up of cartilages. There are C-shaped ring-like cartilages are there around 16 to 20. The trachea itself is around 10 to 12 centimeter in length, which is present in your neck region, and also the thyroid gland is attached to it. Now the trachea, the windpipe, you can see it is the windpipe trachea is bifurcating here, divided into two parts. They are called as bronchus. The windpipe, the bronchus, right side bronchus and left side bronchus, these are entering to the lungs. Now this bronchus further divides into primary bronchioles, secondary bronchioles, then into tertiary bronchioles, then terminal bronchioles. Now these bronchioles are nothing but the windpipe. Wind from the nose enters to the through the nostril, it will enter to the nasal chamber, then it will come to the pharynx, then larynx, then trachea, then bronchus, then bronchioles, then it will come to the terminal bronchiole. You can see over here the terminal bronchiole, which opens to this bunch of grape like structure, which is called as air sac. This is the air sac. These air sacs are a bunch of grapes. Now each grape, single grape like structure is called as alveolus. The alveolus is very important. The air has to reach till the alveolus inside the air sac, and inside that alveolus the exchange of gases takes place. Means air has to come till alveolus, and the alveolus surface is very thin, made up of squamous epithelial tissue. So the oxygen from the alveolar air will enter, diffuse into the blood, and blood, and from the blood carbon dioxide has to come out to the alveolar air. So you can see in that here that air is coming in through this, and blood surrounding to the alveolus, the capillaries are there. So here you can see the blue color, blood means the containing more carbon dioxide, so it is coming out. You can see it is, while moving out, becomes little colorful, means containing oxygen. So here exchange of gases takes place in between the alveolar air and the blood capillaries, in between the blood of the capillaries. So this is about, these all things are present inside your lungs. You can see the right side lung, which diagrams, left side is your right lung, which is divided into three lobes, three parts, and left side lungs is divided into two lobes. Here the left side, this entire, both the lungs are protected by two membranes. They are called as pleural membranes. In between these membranes there is a fluid is called pleural fluid, which prevents desiccation and dryness of the lungs, or also absorbs the shock. Now both the lungs are protected by this cavity is called thoracic cavity or thoracic cage. You can see that it is covered by the ribs. Ribs are seen. There are 12 pairs of ribs are there, 12 this side, 12 other side, and there is a bone chest bone is called sternum, and on the lower side there is a muscular diaphragm is present which gives protection, and the entire thoracic cage is formed. Now during inspiration the entire cage increase the volume, during expiration the entire cage are decreasing the volume. Here you can see the muscles over here in between the ribs. They are called intercostal muscles. The muscles help in moving of the ribs inside and outside during inspiration and expiration. So this is all about the respiratory system, where you have to make a note of this and you have to submit a assignment related to respiratory system in human being when the college reopens. You have to write this assignment on a separate notebook. See, this is the assignment number 1 for you, for our college students. You have to describe the respiratory system in human being with diagram. You have to describe all these organs: nose, pharynx, larynx, trachea, bronchi, lungs, alveoli, diaphragm, and for each organ you have to write the structure, two-line structure and function also in short, in brief, in your own language, and try to put that biological terms. So you have to submit as assignment number 1 at the time of reopening. I will try to show you some moving pictures. See, the air is moving in and the lungs are expanding. This is inspiration, expiration. There is one more picture also. To show something about alveoli. See, the alveoli is here. See, the air is moving inside. The yellow color air is moving inside and fills the lungs, and it's going out, and it is reaching to, on the right side picture you can see the air is entering into the alveoli till the end, and the alveoli are surrounded by pink color capillaries, and exchange takes place. Again the pink color carbon dioxide goes out and oxygen, yellow color oxygen, enters to the body. So this is all about the respiratory system. Hope you understood well. Thank you.